ahead moving around a little bit. Let them see that. Well, hello everyone, and welcome into our live broadcast up in Wilmington, Massachusetts. We're out in front of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses in Wilmington, Massachusetts, and we're doing a live protest here tonight. We're trying to warn the Jehovah's Witnesses on exactly what's going on, and I'll have to tell you, there's a lot going on right now in the Jehovah's Witness world. So we're glad you're in here live with us, and my goodness, this is about our 15th year we're out here doing this. So we're glad you could join us tonight, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things here tonight, and it's going to be quite amusing. We're going to get pictures. The witnesses are just starting to come in now. Go ahead, Julie, pan over to the door over there and see if we can't see what's happening with that area there. There's the Kingdom Hall. They're driving right by us here. They're coming in now. That's the Wilmington Kingdom Hall right there you're looking at. So, yeah, you'll see the witnesses coming in. They don't go in there. They're very hesitant to go in the front door because we're right out here in front of the front door. But the cars are coming in now. Our camera girl is standing around and catching things for us. So that's good. So it's a good thing. I'm glad to see that we have many coming in right now on Facebook and YouTube. So that's wonderful. So here's the Jehovah's Witnesses coming in for the memorial. I have a lot of these guys at T-Mall. Maybe we'll get a chance later on to talk to some. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's just amazing that we have a nice night. It's not too cold out here. As a matter of fact, it's probably about 50. And there's no rain, no wind. So it's been very, very good. So we do have some protesters here with us. They don't want to be seen. We do have masks on. So I probably just have to be aware of that. So we're glad that you guys can come in tonight on YouTube. That's good. Excellent. So anyways, you're here with us, huh? Yeah, I don't think you'll be an incident. Yeah. Yes, I
always got the I always
put us on.
I always
You listen, Miguel, to the program?
I never actually call, but like
Yeah. So you're listening in? You're not going to take them all.
I don't know. If you want me to go, I'll do it.
Oh no, I don't think so, Miguel. No, Miguel. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we do have Miguel. I'm sure. Let me see if we can get you on here because we're on YouTube now, Miguel. Let me see if we can get you on here. Julie, come up a little bit higher. Yeah, right about there is good. Yeah. So this is our friend Miguel. Tell us about yourself, Miguel.
Okay. Well, I'm currently visiting my family here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I just listened to your program. I know that this happens here in Wilmington, so I decided to drive. So yeah, I made it here.
So you came from all the way from New Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, well, that's a wonderful thing, Miguel. Thank you very much for doing that. Gee, that's wonderful.
I used to go to the Kingdom Hall back in Peru. My grandmother used to be witness, and she will take me to the Kingdom Hall back in Peru. And for a while, I believed the theology. And I moved to Australia actually. I lived in Australia for 10 years.
Wow. Yeah. Geez, I'm glad you're listening to the program. I'm glad you made it out here all the way.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You hang in here with us for a bit. We don't have any seats here. That's the only problem. I meant to bring some seats. Well, anyways, is the sound, you guys on YouTube, can you tell me if the sound is okay? Is the sound coming in good? We're trying to do the best we can. We're out here. It's kind of hard setting everything up. But is the sound pretty good? Would someone like to say that? How's the sound? Okay, well, I guess it must be good if you guys are not saying it. Well, anyways, we're going to be talking about some of the things that are going on here tonight in Wilmington, Massachusetts, but going on all over the world. We're going to, once the witnesses get settled here, we'll, Julie, take a span around and shoot down the street there. We have some witnesses coming on the side. Yeah, brings back memories to a lot of you folks, right? Yeah, it really, really does. I'm not sure why we don't have people coming in on the phone here. Yeah, well, Miguel here, my goodness, he came all the way from New Jersey. That was it. Must have taken 4 or 5 hours to get up here. Yeah, well, that's not bad. So you listened in the other night, huh?
I always
did you really?
Like do something every weekend.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to tell you half of my life. I'm actually a moved to Canada.
Is that right?
That's right. You see in Calgary.
Wow.
And there's so many ex-witnesses in here now.
Wow. Well, thank you. Well, that's it. Well, we try to do stuff live, you know. Julie, span around if you would and get a picture of the front of the hall there. In fact, what I'll do is see if I can't bring this around, and we can even actually take a look. There you go there, Julie. See? Can you see on there? The camera? Oh. Yeah, I'll take it back there. Yeah. Yeah, go a little bit more. Yep. And then go over to the screen. Okay. Well, anyway, the witnesses are just starting to come in now. So it's gonna actually sundown is actually 7:14 tonight. So we'll see what happens tonight. Yep. There you go. There you go. There you go. Span around. Give you no idea what's happening here. Yeah, I'm pleased. I mean, I'm so thrilled here that we have Miguel come all the way from New Jersey. That's a good 4-hour drive. And he wanted to be here with us. It's just wonderful. Well, we'll get to talk a little bit to Miguel. And, well, they're trying to, I'm not sure how much attendance is going to be here tonight. Usually by now things are rocking and rolling, but at this point it's not really happening quite yet. So, only time will tell. But this is the 15th. Well, actually, we've been doing this for 15 years. 3 years we couldn't do it down here. As a matter of fact, Luke, just keep spanning down that street if you would. You can see the witnesses coming in. The Jehovah's Witnesses, of course, this is their big night. This is the Super Bowl. This is the biggest event. This is the biggest event of all, and they're coming here tonight. I think there's a Cambodian meeting here tonight, and English and Spanish, I believe, as well. But we'll see. So I'm just kind of curious to see how many people will come. Usually by this time, the whole street is filled, but that's not the case this time around. Yeah, that's not the case at all this time around. Usually there's cars parked all along both sides of the street since we've been coming down here. But I think the attendance is going to be low tonight. People are really finding out what's going on behind the Jehovah's Witness religion. People are finding out that, you know, it's child molesters. We've got doctrinal teaching that's changing. You know, only the craziest, in fact, I say the only ones that are going to stay in this organization are people with a grade level 5 mentality. That is about an 11-year-old person. They're not really thinking. You know, the organization's pulling the wool over these people's eyes. They come in here tonight and they all look dressed up. They look good. That's one thing the Jehovah's Witnesses do. They look good. They're well packaged, so to speak. The men are clean shaven. The women wear nice dresses, have their hair fixed up, nice makeup. So, you know, they look good to the world, but, you know, packaging doesn't always mean what's inside the package is good. So sometimes what's inside the package is bad. And in this particular case, we do have an organization here that has hurt so many people. One of our signs out here, as a matter of fact, does talk about breaking up families. Jehovah's Witnesses break up families. If you no longer want to be a witness and you have been a witness all your life and you decide to leave or just for a couple of years, you're going to be shunned. Well, we did get a permit from the police department. They're coming down here now just to check out on us to make sure everything's okay and working in the right direction. But I hope everybody online can hear me okay. Sometimes it's hard to know because you're doing remote. It's hard to know whether people can see you or not. We got the police department showing up here now, so that's good. They're on our side. They're just checking out. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what we had happen here today. We had what we had is the police department here in Wilmington called me. Evidently, there was security at work or something. And the reason why I say that is we know that, you know, it was the Kingdom Hall just a month ago when people brought in and actually shot some people and killed some of the witnesses in Hamburg, Germany. That was a terrible tragedy. We'll be talking a little bit about that tonight as our program moves forward. But so the police called me. There's a police there right now. They actually sent an undercover agent. He's here somewhere. He said he's not in uniform, but he said he'll be with us here most of the night. And he's armed and he's ready in case there's any problem. Because the way the world is right now, you just don't know, right, Miguel? So my wife was kind of concerned about that, but they told me the woman to police said we got your back. We're here. We have an I thought you'd be under cup of coffee, Miguel, to be honest with you, because he said he wasn't going to be in uniform. Yeah. So that was good. So anyways, so far so peaceful, and we never really create a real issue here. We just kind of do about our business. Here comes a cop now, and we can talk with him and see what he has to say. Hello, officer. I'm doing good.
Obviously, one of the neighbors called. Just question the property. Are they all set with you guys being here?
Oh, who's that?
The property owners right here. I don't know if you're on technically where you are.
Yeah, basically this is still considered a sidewalk, I would think. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know one of our detectives came down and already kind of talked with you guys.
Yeah, he said he was going to come down and kind of make himself aware. He was saying, yeah. Well, thank you. We're on our side, but if we won't create any issues. If they do have a problem, we can move some stuff forward. If they do.
Okay, that's fine.
But I don't want to be in the middle of the street. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. If you have to, maybe that way or over there. But that's you guys have a right to protest. So.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, officer.
All right,
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good night.
George, come on. Yeah. Well, we just had the officer come and talk to us, and there's always to be some groaning and moaning going on. But they did send an undercover detective down here tonight, like I say. Evidently with what's going on in the world, as I was saying, there is issues. There is big-time issues. That Hamburg shooting in the mall was a terrible situation. And we certainly feel bad for the witnesses that lost their lives over that. We don't do anything that's in any way dangerous or threatening to the witnesses. We're not yelling, we're not screaming. We're just observing what they have to say. And what we're doing is we're noticing people are coming through and they're slowing down somewhat. And we're going to see what happens here. This is not a big turnout so far. I'm going to see what time it is right now. Do you have a watch on you, Miguel? What time is it? 6:38. Well, 6:38, so I mean, we'll give them time. Usually by now. All right. So you can go ahead and play around with that camera. Here, let me see what's going on with this. Yeah. Well, that's the Wilmington Hall right there that you're looking at. And then they drive down this street and they pull into that parking lot right down there, as you can see them. There's only one way in, and they have to see our signs. There's no way of missing them. Sorry that the cameras here. It's hard to do with webcams because you really can't see what you're filming. You have to look at your computer screen. But they're dropping the witnesses off. Now this is kind of unusual. We get more people going in the front than we have in past years. Maybe we can get, if someone slows down enough, maybe we can get one of the witnesses to even talk to us. I mean, it is a tamer witness world. It's not as bad as it used to be. A lot of people are PMOs, and maybe we'll find a couple of PMOs that are willing to talk to us tonight. So we'll see what happens. We'll just stay out here and do the best we can. And we do have some signs here. This is what the witnesses are seeing when they're coming down the street. They're seeing this. So they're seeing these signs. Go ahead, walk right over there, Julie. It is shown to careful the cars now. So you can see the signs. They're saying, "Where's Tony?" For example, the Watchtower organization breaks up families. We're a pilot on the top, and then you have the Australian Royal Commission search Jehovah's Witnesses, and then over there you have another set of signs. Jehovah's Witness cover up child molesters. Look at all the child molesters on that sign. I mean, how are the witnesses going to miss this? They know it. I really know the witnesses have got to know if your organization is covering up child molesters. They've got to know that. So anyways, I'm glad you're on here with us tonight. And when things settle down a little bit, I want to give you some statistics. I want to talk a little bit about past memorial events. I want to talk about the numbers. And the numbers have got to they've got to go up tonight. If the witness numbers do not go up tonight, if they do not exceed 19.5 million, that's about how many came last year. If they don't do that, they're in big time trouble because they have a big time campaign. All the witnesses are working so hard to get out. In fact, they were relaxing hours and requirements. And all the witnesses are working so hard during the month of March to get out and talk about the memorial. They even lowered the pioneer hours. So the witnesses go out and do it. But this is one of the biggest campaigns ever in the history of the Watchtower to get Jehovah's Witnesses to go out and spread the message of the memorial, which is tonight. Like I say, this is the biggest night of the year. And take a shot down there, Julie, down the street if you would. We got a bunch of people coming in down there. As you can see, they're all dressed up really nice. They're all dressed up really nice. This is like Easter, really, for them. This is like, let's say, the Super Bowl, the biggest event of the year. And tonight we're going to do what they call a memorial on the memorial. Now, what that is there's a lot of people that have died because of following the policies of the Watchtower. So we're going to be able to share some of it tonight when we go in. And I wanted to get pictures, as many as we can, of the people coming in and into the Kingdom of Oz, trying to bring back memories for all of you, I know. So we do have cars slowing down a little bit, and we're going to look at what the signs say. So they certainly can't be missed. That's one thing that I do believe on, is good signs. And we were hoping to get more people out here protesting, but we got 4 people out here tonight, which is not too bad. We've had as many as 23. We had a man come all the way up from New Jersey. But you heard this on the program last week, Miguel?
Well, I just wanted to say that you're doing a very important job.
Well, thank you.
When I left the Watchtower, I didn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
Because when you leave the Watchtower, your whole universe collapses. I was seriously questioning if God was a real person.
Is that right, huh? Yeah.
Seriously.
So you've been listening in and listening to the witnesses calling in, the ex-witnesses calling in, and
Yeah.
kind of got you thinking.
Yeah, because you're not alone. And it's so important to know that you are not alone. So what you're doing is very useful, and it's helping a lot of people. Let me get talking about that it's helping.
Wow.
I moved to Calgary, and then I was still a Jehovah's Witness. I believed that Jehovah's Witness. I was never baptized, but I wanted to get baptized.
Yeah.
When I moved to Calgary in Alberta, I wanted to get baptized. So what I did is I got the elders. I went to the local Kingdom Hall, and I said, I want to be the best Jehovah's Witness you can ever be.
Yeah.
So call the elders in. And boy, I did study the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does the Bible really teach book?
Yeah.
And I was very good.
Oh, yeah.
Like extremely good. I would read the paragraph before the elders. I will line up the answer. I would read every scripture, and I would have a book. And on the book I'll write all the answers.
Wow.
And I read all the appendices, everything.
So you did your homework.
I only lasted the first chapter because there was one of the appendices on the What's the Bible Really Teach talks about the destruction of the Israelites by the hands of the enemies.
Oh, yeah.
And that made me really wonder if God was
So you got thinking. So you're a Christian man today?
Well, I'm going to there. Like, is God really a good person? If Jehovah is God, like Jehovah's Witness is God,
Yeah.
God is someone just out there, not here.
Yeah.
It's out there in the sky.
Yeah.
But I was also going to a Bible study at Rocky Mountain Calvary Chapel, Vigilant Minds.
Will you hold on 1 second? We'll get right back. You hold on 1 second. I'll come back to Miguel. I just want to let people know what is going on here. We have a protest out here in front of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses right here in Wilmington, Massachusetts. We have 4 people here, including myself, that are protesting. We've been doing this now for 15 years. There was actually a couple of years we couldn't do it because of COVID. The hall was shut down. But we do have what they're doing. What a lot of the witnesses are doing is parking in the mall over here. And a lot of the witness seemed to be parking over there in the strip mall when walking through. But, you know, I don't know, maybe it's because they don't want to drive by and see the signs here for the protesters. But I just don't understand how the witnesses, with all the bad news about the Jehovah's Witnesses and everything being said about them, how they can really even put up with this. Why they keep even coming. Aren't they getting online? Aren't they researching? Don't they see these things? Don't they read the newspapers? Don't they see the television news articles? I mean, it's not all phony baloney stuff. We're not out here trying to, you know, make things up or say things aren't true. We're trying to let people know, at least in this Kingdom Hall. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people say, well, the protests work. Well, we're going to get into that as well tonight. But pretty soon when they settle down here, we're going to be able to, see, we can straighten that camera out a little bit, Julie. You can see the cars coming in, and we're driving right by our sign. We do have an electronic sign, Julie. Why don't you focus on that for a second? Go ahead and continue to do that. Yeah, right over here. Look at that sign right there. Well, what we have here tonight, you're probably saying, well, where's the power coming from? Of course, I wasn't going to ask the Jehovah's Witnesses to use their power. I don't think they would let me. But take a look down here, Julie. That is a portable generator. That's what you're looking at right there. That is giving the power here tonight. That is an unbelievable little unit. And that is powering, we're going to put some lights on later. It's powering the cameras, the computer, the sign, and what have you. So that's what we're here. It took us about 2 hours to set up. It's not an easy task. I've been preparing for this for a while, as I do every year. And I just like coming out, standing in front of a Kingdom Hall. There's an adrenaline rush. There is an adrenaline rush. And if you were out here with us, you'd feel it. And maybe what we've had as many as 23 in the past. Like I say, it kind of died down a little bit when COVID came. But I mentioned to you earlier, we have a man, Miguel. He came all the way up from New Jersey just to be with us here tonight. I got to say, that's an amazing thing. That's an amazing thing. I never thought that would happen, but people do. They wanted to be up here, and Miguel listens into the 6 screens, and he found it kind of fascinating. So let's see what's going on here. Let me take a look at the chat. Let me see if anybody's saying anything in here. All right. All righty. So anyways, Susan, I don't know if I know Susan couldn't make it with us here tonight, but Susan, if you're listening in on Facebook or YouTube chat, why don't you get in there and let us know and make sure everything is hunky-dory, you can hear it good and what have you. But there's the Kingdom Hall. There's the Kingdom Hall. It's starting to get a little dark here, but we do have some lights. And I do believe we're only having one meeting. And, okay, Norman's there. Norman, can you hear me okay, Norman? Just say yes or no. Just want to make sure. Sometimes it's hard to know whether everything is working fine or not. It's hard to know that. All right. Awesome job, Rick. Okay. Is the sound working good? We got a little microphone here. It's on a 20-foot cord, and sometimes it doesn't work like I would like to have it work. But there we go. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not impressed with the crowd, friends. What time is it? Let me see what time it is. Susan, can you hear me? Well, there's something wrong with the phone. That's not working. Yeah. Okay, so you're watching. You can hear it all right, huh? Okay. Well, we had a man come all the way up from New Jersey. We got to tell all the truth.
Hello, Susan.
Yeah. He came 4 hours. He drove up here just to be here for 6 minutes tonight.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah.
One of the reasons why I came here was to meet the legend in person. I just want you to know that your voice is helpful and it's a blessing to everybody who's coming out with you.
Well, thank you, Miguel.
I don't know if you know it. Did you know? I don't know if you know the impact that you have. It's what's happening. It's massive. Me and Calgary just 2 towns somewhere in the middle of Canada. We know about it.
Wow.
We listen.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, Miguel, that's wonderful. You made my night tonight. We're going to get more of your story here shortly. Well, thank you, honey. Okay. Yeah, we'll put them on the show. So we're just getting things little that go in here. Not a big crowd at all, but Well, just watch us on YouTube, and the phone system's not working right. Okay. I would say kind of forget the phone. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody on the phone. Is anybody on the phone? Hit *6. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. But that's okay. Don't even worry about that. Just let it go. Okay. Oh, oh. No, I'm not gonna get into it. Just stay on YouTube. That's fine. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, you can't. Right. I mean, you can't talk. You could if I brought you in. But we never did that with you before, so don't worry about that. Just sit back and relax. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. All right. Well, anyways, here we are. I am not impressed. I am not impressed at all. I'll tell you what, of all the different memorials I've ever come to here in 15 years, there's nothing happening here tonight. This is like people walking by the graveyard. It just is. There's nothing here. I mean, I'm basing it on what I saw years ago. I had a hard time even with a parking spot here. I'm basing it on, even 2 years ago. Actually last year when we came. Last year, it was unbelievable. Cars were all over the place. So what is going on here? This might be kind of a sign of the time. It might be a sign of the time. Things just are not looking like robust as they used to be. I mean, they gotta have a hard time recruiting people. How can the witnesses get people to come into an organization that is so tarnished? Geez, all of the newspaper articles about the child molesting, all of the families that have been broken apart, all of the governments that are coming down on the witnesses, including the state of Pennsylvania, state of Washington, all of the bad press the witnesses are getting, and are the witnesses seeing this? They're coming here tonight like, oh, this is the best place in the world to possibly be. They're totally oblivious to everything else that's going on. But we're here and we're oblivious, and I'm glad that all of us wiggled our way loose from that organization. So, yeah, I'm looking at the clock here, and I'm going to check the time here. Yeah, we're looking at 6:53. Now, this is very unusual. Usually, right along the street, there'd be cars, and there'd be cars right along the other side of the street. Nothing there tonight. So I don't think this turnout's going to be good. Now, I'm going to tell you something. They've got to get a good turnout tonight. They have to get a good turnout tonight, and I'll tell you why they have to get a good turnout tonight. It's because they've been out promoting this. They've been out for the last few months. Every witness was encouraged to pioneer, to auxiliary pioneer. They were going to let you pioneer for, I think it was 20 hours for the month, and they wanted everyone to go out and do it. And they figured that they could get so many to come to the memorial, and they had to come to the memorial. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you some numbers here that really something that you'd want to be aware of. Oh, we've got a bad chair here, but that's okay. Just to give you an idea, I'm just going to run some numbers by you, and you'll be able to get an idea of what's going on. Let me just get my computer set up here. I had some numbers I'm going to give you, and we will do that. All right. All right. So, anyways, let's roll the clocks back. Let's roll the clocks back and give you an idea what numbers were happening here. Well, let me put it this way to you. We came out here 15 years ago. We only missed a couple of years because of bad weather and because of the COVID. But let's just roll the clocks back here to 2022. That would have been last year. And according to the official statistics from Watchtower, last year 19.7 million people worldwide attended this memorial. Yes, it was 19.7 million. And of the 19.7 million, 21,000 actually partook. So think about that. All those people almost 20 million people, 19,700,000. Only 21,000 people partook. But as we've always been saying, those numbers should be going down, not up. But also, we remember 2021. Now, that was 2 years ago, but they did not have a meeting here. They did not have a meeting anywhere. And the reason why they didn't, because of COVID. So for 2020 and 2021, there was no meeting. But here's an interesting statistic for you. During 2021, when they had the memorial on Zoom, there were 21.4 million people worldwide who attended the meeting on Zoom. 20,700 partook. So if you take 2021 and then you go to 2022, it was almost 2 million people less. So that's something that the Watchtower is not really proud of. They always, they always try to get people to the memorial, as many as they possibly can, friends and relatives, but there was more on Zoom, and that's going to be quite concerning for the Watchtower because people like being on Zoom, evidently. So there was a worldwide campaign. You guys remember when we were doing our JW World News, there was a worldwide campaign, and the month of March, just last month, they tried to do everything they could to get as many Jehovah's Witnesses out in the service as they could to try to get them to come to the memorial, trying to spread the word about the memorial. They were really trying to get the numbers up. And they had to get them up. They really had to get them up. They were even allowing people to kind of special pioneer. I believe you could just get, I think it was 40 hours. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was 40 hours versus generally 70 hours. And they allowed you to do that for a month just to get out and give those invitations out for the memorial. But also we talked on our program, we talked about Hendricks. Remember Brother Hendricks? Well, he's the PR man for the Watchtower. And what he did, and he had a bunch of infomercials, paid commercials. The Watchtower was paying local radio stations and television stations so he could come on and spread propaganda about the Jehovah's Witnesses. And so for the last few years, he was saying how wonderful the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing, better than ever. And during COVID, they were bringing in more and more people, and the organization's never been so good. Well, wait a minute, not so fast there, Brother Hendricks, because, I'm going to tell you, if tonight's not a big night, if you guys don't go over the number that I shouted out here earlier, in 2022, the amount of people that came to this memorial, not this one, but the one worldwide, all Jehovah's Witnesses, were 19.7 million. If they don't go over 19.7 million tonight, they're in trouble. They really are. They're going to have to sit down, the governing body and the powers that be of Watchtower. They're going to have to sit down and reevaluate their position. They're losing people big time. Their name is tarnished. There's no doubt about it. In fact, Julie, did you want to put the camera? In fact, we'll put this camera right here, if you would. We'll do that one there. Yeah, put that one there. See if you can focus it right on me so the people can see me talking, because they're probably saying, "Where's Rick?" Yeah, can you see me okay?
Yep.
All right. So we got camera woman Julie, and we got Miguel up here with us, and we got our good technician man with us as well. And so there we are. So that's going in pretty good, Julie.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, what is the memorial? Well, we're going to get all into that just a little later. But let me just tell you something right off the bat. This is one of the biggest fundraisers for the Jehovah's Witness organization there is. Those money boxes are open in there, and the witnesses surely they can put the money in tonight, because that's what they want so many people here for, and the money rolls in, I'll tell you. So many have asked, why do we protest? I mean, I get that all the time. Many have said, well, why do you protest? Why are you out here all the time, Rick, doing this? And why do many people do it as well? Well, the answer is we protest because of the terrible situation that's going on in the Jehovah's Witness world. And there's a popular phrase that I'd like to bring up here. In fact, when people ask us that, we're just adjusting cameras here. We're getting some stuff done that we want to get done. And it's a little hard sometimes being out here. But I'm just going to say, when people ask us, why are you guys out there protesting? The answer is, why aren't you out here protesting with us? I mean, you know how evil this organization is, but we're going to do it. So we wanted to have you come along with us tonight and be able to see what goes on. And there's nothing to really be afraid of. It's calm and there's no problems. The police have come down, checked us out. They told us earlier there was going to be an undercover detective here somewhere in our midst. And because they just don't know the way the world is today, something can happen. But anyways, let's just take a look here. And there's a popular phrase that talks about exposing badness. And the popular phrase is the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, governments have changed because of people protesting. And I'm going to tell you, I've tried for so many years to really get a big group up. The largest protest I ever was in for the Watchtower was back in 2017 up in Warwick, New York, the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses. And when I was up there was 53 people that we had. Some of you guys might have saw that. We had it online as well. But it's very difficult. This organization makes it very difficult for people to protest because they're afraid, obviously. If a person's caught protesting, that's why we have people here, some of them tonight with masks on. And they have the masks on because, go ahead, Julie, just get in front of come over here, Julie. So come over here. I want people to, you can see they got the mask on, these anonymous masks. So there she is. Yeah. And also her counterpart over there as well. But much evil is going on in the Watchtower. And, I do this because of the evil. We do a broadcast every Saturday night. You guys know that, and every other Sunday. But, one reason that I'm out here tonight is because not too long ago, I got a Facebook call in the middle of the night. And there was a 76-year-old woman that called me up in the middle of the night, woke me up, and I was glad to talk to her because she was crying. And she actually sounded suicidal. And she told me when she was in her 40s, her husband, who was a Jehovah's Witness, beat her repeatedly all over her body. She was badly bruised. And he actually raped her and ruptured her with a broomstick. Now, that's why I'm out here. That's why I'm out here. I hear some of the most evil things take place in the Watchtower. Now, the woman's name was Phyllis, and she told the elders about her extremely abusive husband, and they did nothing. The elders did absolutely nothing. Well, she was a nurse, and she actually supported her husband. That was a mean man, and he did not work. Yet he would go out and stand on the corner of the side of the street placing Watchtower magazines in service. So here he is out acting like a really nice man, and he's taking full advantage of his wife and beating her up. So that's a horrific story. And I have to tell you, I hear these all the time on the 6 screens. Ever since we've been doing our program now for 17 years, I've had people call in with horrific stories. I had a woman call me in once, a young woman from Washington State. And she said when she was a young girl, just a little toddler, she was passed around the Kingdom Hall. And the elders were sexually abusing her like a football. And I mean, she came on the program and people couldn't believe it. Years ago, when we talked about this, when we first started doing our broadcast, people wouldn't believe it. They thought that we were making this stuff up, but we certainly were not. This is all something that is not made up. Well, it looks like they're in there now. I will go on. We'll do more talking here, narratives. But I want to let you know that this is not your average memorial. That this is not. This is not a packed memorial here tonight, folks. There's something wrong here tonight. I'm starting to really see that the numbers have got to be way down. And if this is any indication of what is going to be happening, I'll tell you, it's not going to happen for the witnesses this year.
People are getting the masks confused with masks for COVID and masks because of anonymity.
Yeah, no, we got masks here. They're not for COVID. They're so that people can stay anonymous. So that's what that's all about. But maybe we can get some witnesses. If any witness over there wants to come over and talk to me, I'll be glad to talk to you. If you want to come over and talk, by all means, we'll be glad to talk with you. Anyways, well, I'm Rick Farron. We've got a number out here with us tonight. And as I've been telling you right along, I'm so pleased that Miguel came all the way up from New Jersey. Now, New Jersey's not, the next door state. That's 4 hours to get up here. But he's up here with us. You know what we might do, Julie? I might even take and change the camera. I might even do that. Let me see if I can't do that. See if that other camera even is a little bit better. Let me get into, where are we? Where are you, StreamYard? If I can find StreamYard. Oh, okay, I gotta get on this one. Let me find StreamYard, and I think I'll change the camera setting here. Yeah, so we can give you guys, I think I got a camera here, it's got a wider angle on it, so I can give you guys a little view of, maybe a better view. This is a brand new camera we're gonna do here now, so let's see if we can't get that one up here. So let's check and see the camera. Let's go with it. That one. Okay, yeah, let's play with that one. That might be easier for you to work with, Julie. That might be a little easier for you to work. It's just not as long as the other one. But anyways, we'll switch over from time to time. Yep. So is that better now, or is it more straight? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we got another camera here set up. We got 2 cameras here going, and we'll try to switch them from time to time. But yeah, so they're in there now. They're in there now, and what we're gonna do here tonight too, friends, is we're gonna partake as well. We're actually gonna. I got some grape juice, and I got some crackers with us, bread, and we're gonna actually partake here tonight for those that want to online. I mentioned that last week on our radio broadcast, and for the Christians. But I don't want you to, if you're not a Christian out there, don't head for the mountains. I'm not gonna make this a preaching show, but I want you to know that that's what they're doing in there tonight. I'm going to tell you what they're doing in there tonight. You're going to be fascinated to hear it all. So, anyways, I was also going to bring up, Luke, is there some pictures in the car there up in the side? To the left. Yep, there they go. Yeah, so a few years back, a woman got a hold of me, and she said, Rick, we ought to do a memorial on the memorial. We ought to talk about some of the people that have, lost their lives because of the policies of the Watchtower. And there are people that have. In fact, give me that picture right there, that woman right there. This here, yeah, and I'm going to show you some pictures. And yeah, you can hold those up there. I don't know if you can see that or not, okay, but anyways, we're going to talk about people that have actually lost their lives because of the policies of the Watchtower. That woman right there, her name is Lauren, and she's from Michigan. And I'm going to put that down so I can read my notes here and tell you a little bit about Lauren. A lot of people have committed suicide because of the policies and the teachings of the Watchtower. I'm going to just put this microphone on my label here, on my collar, and that'll be better. All right, so let me just tell you a little bit about Lauren. She did the unthinkable. Lauren did the unthinkable. She actually committed suicide, but she murdered her son and her husband and her dog. And according to reports, the reason why that happened is because she was being shunned by the Watchtower organization. And when they shun someone, it, as you well know, she was disfellowshipped, and then they shunned her. They didn't have anything to do with her. So she figured she'd end it all. So she did that. She left a suicide note, and she texted to her husband's boss and said exactly what she was going to do. And she killed herself, her husband, and her son, and a dog, a family dog. So, I mean, that's a pretty terrible story. Many of you heard that. That was up in Michigan. So she was a beautiful woman. She was a model, as a matter of fact. But according to police records and interviews with the family and friends, Lauren Stewart, that was her name, she was suffering from depression, and primarily due to ostracism from the Jehovah's Witness Church, and it left mental scars stemming for many years in her. So finally she snapped and and did the unthinkable. And there's so many other people too. We had a girl on our program, Amber Sawyer, was another woman. Hold those signs up over there, guys. Let me see which. You got to get a picture of Amber. No, not that one. Is it the other one? No, I don't have a picture of Amber here with me, but I'm going to tell you what happened to Amber Sawyer. It was terrible. She was only 18 years old, and Amber was home watching cartoons. Her mother was out in service, and her friends, not her friend, but her sister, her 21-year-old sister was babysitting her, and Amber was out in the living room watching cartoons, and all of a sudden she heard a gunshot go off. So Amber ran in, and her sister killed herself with a shotgun. And the reason is just previously to that, she was disfellowshipped. And because people were shunning her, she died. So that's why we're here tonight. You know, these guys look great. They're driving nice cars. They're dressed up. And then they think it's wonderful. Do they know how many people they've hurt? Do they know how many people they've driven to suicide and even murder? And really, I'm going to tell you something. And if you're a Bible study out there listening in here tonight, and you're thinking about joining the Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm going to tell you, back off. I mean, if you join the Jehovah's Witnesses right now, it's a very dangerous, destructive cult. If you join the Jehovah's Witnesses, you better send me an invitation to your funeral, because that's exactly what could happen. Really, you guys heard what happened in Hamburg a month ago, Germany. Yeah, 7 people were killed, and 8, including the shooter. He was a disgruntled Jehovah's Witness. He was disfellowshipped. And our hearts go out for those people too. They've been killed because of the policies of the Watchtower. That man that killed the witnesses there in Germany, he was disfellowshipped just a couple of weeks before. And what happened the night that it was going to be announced? What he did is he went there with a gun, and he shot through the window and killed the witnesses. It's terrible. But why did that happen? It happened because that man was disfellowshipped and shunned. Friends, this is a serious problem in the Jehovah's Witness religion. This is what they do. There's countries right now that are coming down on the Jehovah's Witnesses for doing it. Norway, for example, Sweden, Belgium. These countries are not tolerating this idea of shunning and displacing people and making them feel 2 feet high. You know what that does to people? The most important thing in your life is your family. Well, what do you do without your family? The most important thing in your life is the family, and the Watchtower wants to break it up. That's why I'm out here tonight. I'm not out here because I want to do a spectacular program on YouTube. I was doing this before YouTube was even around. I'm here because it's just one person. If just one person coming through here tonight could read one of these signs and says, that's it, I've had enough, I'm done. So, whoops, I'm on a chair here that's breaking apart. I'm sorry, I'm in a chair. I forgot to bring a chair. That's the crackling noise you hear in the background. So let's talk about, I think we got another picture there, Miguel, on that one right here. You want to see a pretty girl? You want to see a pretty girl? Well, there she is right here. That is Eloise her name is Dupuy. It's a French name. Eloise Dupuy. 26 years old. She died of a blood hemorrhage on October 12, 2016, after giving birth C-section. She hemorrhaged. Now, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they said, don't give that girl blood. Don't give Eloise blood. And she had a little baby boy. She's giving birth to a little baby boy. And what happened is, for Eloise, the Jehovah's Witnesses kind of suggested, just don't take the blood. Jehovah doesn't want you to do it. So they coerced her, and Eloise died. And her little baby boy had to live without a mother. That's why we're here tonight. I mean, we're not here just trying to make a name for ourselves. Well, we're not here trying to, just to have a fun old time tonight. But we're here because we're trying to expose the evils that take place in the Watchtower. Friends, there are Jehovah's Witnesses out there that don't even, if their sons and daughters have left the organization and they don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore, that there are children that have not been spoken to by their parents. There are grandchildren that are being shunned as well. Some grandparents who have left the organization that don't even know who the relatives are anymore. And some people who are in the organization and their grandparents, they don't even want to see their grandchildren. They're not an organization that is here to help you. The Watchtower organization is not a good organization. They do a lot of things to people that are not wholesome. They break families up. They're involved, as you well know, child sex abuse. And what about all the poverty? What about all the poverty the Jehovah's Witness organization has caused? It's unbelievable. So I wanted to bring these thoughts to your attention tonight. So we're not just out here again, as I say, for the fun of it. We're trying to alert people. And when you see the car go by, it was very slow. They're reading some of this. You can't miss these signs. Where we are on Bridge Lane, Wilmington, Massachusetts. I mean, you can't miss it. You really cannot miss coming down the street and seeing the signs. So, anyways, we wanted to talk about a few of the people. In fact, we got another sign over there, Miguel. Let me have this one here. Now, does this sign right here, does that sign in any way speak volumes to you? That is actually an Awake magazine. And that's the May 22nd, 1994 Awake magazine. You know how sick this is? You see all those children on this magazine? They actually died from refusing a blood transfusion. And the Watchtower is making martyrs out of them. And, is that a sensible thing for a religious organization that says they're Christian and they love people to actually cause a problem? That was on the front cover of Awake magazine. All those children died for refusing a blood transfusion. So, I mean, I was basically a born-in Jehovah's Witness, grew up a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm gonna tell you something. I was a high order Jehovah's Witness. And you see the Kingdom Hall tonight, that memorial? I actually was one that actually partook. I was of the anointed class, they called it, and I would partake of the emblems. My former wife and I would go in there. In fact, even this hall right here we went into. And, they pass the wine around. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit and what they're doing in there. And if you've never really been exposed to a witness memorial and you'd like to know more about it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it here very shortly. Then we're also going to partake. So why don't you get your bread ready and your wine and your grape juice? I don't have wine here tonight because we're out here on the road. But we have grape juice, but you can use wine, you can use grape juice, and if you don't have wine and grape juice, or you don't have flatbread, you can use anything. That's not really the important thing. You can use whatever you want to use. So we're going to be doing that probably in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So anyways, if you want to get that ready, but I'm not trying to preach to you tonight. This is not a preaching session. I'm exposing the Jehovah's Witnesses tonight. But you have to talk about the religious aspect of what's going on here tonight in order to get the full understanding of it. There's so many too that have said to me, as we expose the Watchtower from some of these broadcasts we do and from protesting out here, many have actually said that, Rick, isn't that counterproductive? Now, don't you think if you're out there, you're feeding into the persecution complex? Well, probably many are thinking that. They're probably thinking, geez, Rick, you're just making the witnesses think that this is persecution. Well, they can think what they want, but it is not counterproductive. Something on the radio program I do on Saturday nights, we get so many people that call into the program, and now they're in the 30s, their 40s, and their 50s, and they're saying, something? It actually was protest signs that got me thinking. I used to go to the conventions when I was a young kid, and I see these signs out in front of the conventions. Well, there you have it, and it's getting people out. Now, I know that many don't like this. We call it aggressive activism. You don't like it, but you guys can all do your own activism however you want to do it. Many listening into the program tonight and commenting on YouTube. There's going to be people listening in. There's going to be PMOs. Eventually, there's going to be Jehovah's Witnesses listening in. So you can do your own form of activism, really, and that's a wonderful thing. Just writing on YouTube or however you guys do it out there. So, anyways, but what protesting, putting your boots on the ground, so to speak, uh, it's up front and center, and we can really express our concerns about it. And you say, well, people really aren't listening. Well, they're not. I mean, we don't have a Jehovah's Witness audience out there, but we get you guys listening in, and we don't know some of these witnesses. They know we're on YouTube and Facebook. Geez, they might leave the meeting here tonight and go home and watch it. So, anyways, this is one of the biggest events of the year, as I keep saying here tonight. This is the Super Bowl of Jehovah's Witness events, no doubt about that. Of course, this is a big week for Christianity in the first place. Yes, a big week for Christianity in the first place, and this is actually a special night. So what they do is they go by what they call Nisan 14. Now that's a Jewish month, Nisan 14, and they have it every year on this date. And they have a formula. It's the first full moon. Now we can't see the full moon tonight because it's kind of cloudy out here tonight. But it's the first full moon after the spring equinox, and that's where we are here tonight. But let me give you just a little bit of idea on this Christian week, so to speak. It's a holy week for the Christians. Now tonight, April 4th, in 33 CE, when Jesus was put to death, it was actually a Thursday, but that's the way the calendar flows, right? But tonight it's actually Tuesday. And this is when Jesus met with his disciples in the upper room, and they passed around the wine and the bread. And and Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. He was creating a new covenant that the people now could be connected to Jesus. Jesus gave them room for hope for the future. He took away their sins. So this is the very night in history that Jesus sat there in his upper room in Jerusalem, and he sat with his disciples, and they passed around the bread and the wine. Now tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, April 5th, well, that was the day that Jesus was actually put to death. He was crucified, which would be tomorrow. Yes, according to the calendar. Now, if you roll the clocks forward to Thursday, which would be April 6th, well, Jesus was in the tomb. He's already been killed, and he's in the tomb. What a terrible way to die for Jesus on that cross, wasn't it? So now we have Friday. We come up to Friday, and that would be Resurrection Day. Now, the Christian world celebrates it on Sunday. I understand that for the sake of many being able to get together. But actually, Saturday he was in the tomb. But I'm sorry, Thursday when he was in the tomb, and now on Friday, this Friday coming, that's when Jesus would have been resurrected. So, anyways, I thought you may find that fascinating, how that all happened, and it's something that even if you're a Jehovah's Witness, and what happens, so many Jehovah's Witnesses, they leave the organization, they leave the organization, and they do it because they don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore, but they leave God behind. They don't want anything to do with God either, which is kind of unusual. So I find that kind of fascinating as well. Well, a little bit we'll take of the emblems ourselves here and be able to. But I just want to mention something here of interest. I want to mention this because it has to be mentioned. The only way that you can get into the kingdom of God is by partaking. Now, in there tonight, they're going to have the bread and wine, and they're going to pass it around. But the only ones that would take it are people who have the heavenly hope. And to my knowledge, there's not one person in there tonight that will take the bread and wine. Now, they say, I got a copy of the manuscript that they're giving tonight, the talk they have. I'm not going to get into it. We don't have time to do it. But, they say in the very beginning that Jesus commanded all of his followers to come to and drink the blood of him and also eat the bread. But here's the point I want to make. The command was only for people to do it. He didn't command people to come and watch. So the witnesses call it, they're just respectful observers. They don't partake, they pass it around. and they don't dare partake of it and drink of it. So who else does that? Well, I'm going to tell you who else does it. One of the only other groups that does a similar thing and does not drink the wine and eat the bread, well, that's the Satanist. That's the Satanist. And they have a satanic mass where they mock this very process or this very situation of passing the wine and passing the bread. What they do, and a true Satanist, what they'll try to do is they'll try to steal the Eucharist from the Catholic Church. They'll try to, get into church on Sunday and somehow steal it because it has more potency or something to it. And then what they do is they take and they'll actually step on the bread. They pass it around. They each Satanist. There goes a train in a second. Train in the back. But the Satanists will actually pass the bread and wine around, and they'll pass the bread to one other Satanist, and they'll throw it on the floor, and then they all stomp on it. And then when it comes time to sip the wine, they throw that on the floor too and stomp on that. It's just mocking the Christian celebration. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that. Luke, there's in that box over there, I think. Is there a box? Is there a Bible in there? All right, well, all right, but I do have I have some notes here. The Bible, I have a beautiful Bible here, and I'm not really sure, but I do have the notes here in front of me, and I'm just going to. What we're going to do here is there some bread and wine over there? Bring that over here if you would. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what they're doing in there tonight, but in the real Christian spirit, so to speak. So come bring that right over here if you would, and we got the wine, we got some cups, and we got a plate. Yeah, we can put some of that. We can put that bread on the plate. That'll be fine. So what we'll do here, Luke, in fact, you hold that there. If anyone wants to partake here tonight, certainly, you're not forcing anyone to do it, but if you want to, you certainly can. So, got a little wind coming up here, but we're going to partake. So go ahead and get your wine, get your crackers. Like I say, if you don't have wine or grape juice, you can use even water. That's not the important thing here, is that you're doing it. And we have matzo crackers. In fact, let me show people the box here. You see these in the store all the time. Around Easter time, that's real flatbread. Around Easter time, that's what you want to do, is you get these, and then you can partake. Yeah, people are slowing down. They're reading the signs we got out here, but you can see it. That's it. And this is just regular grape juice here. That's all it is. I usually, if I was home, I'd have wine. I would, because I do believe it was really wine, but it doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. So anyways, let me tell you what they're doing. So what they're doing there tonight, they're going to pass these emblems. Everyone's sitting down. I don't know, there's probably 125, 30 people in there tonight. And they're all sitting down. Everything seems to be working good there on YouTube, is it? Anybody saying anything that's, yeah?
Can't even see the comments right now.
All right, they're just checking the YouTube comments, because the way we have this set up here tonight, I can't see everything that's going on. We got a number of computers running, and it's hard to see. But got to help us here. So we're gonna this. Don't run off to the mountains, like I said earlier. You people hear Christian and you guys go crazy on me. But this is what they're doing. There's people listening into this program tonight. They want to know, what are those guys doing in the Kingdom Hall? All right. So anyways, let me tell you what they're doing. They're going to pass the wine. They're going to pass the bread. And let me tell you, the wine in the witness world, I mean, everything has to be just exactly perfect. It has to be unadulterated wine. You know how hard that is to find? You go into a liquor store and try to find wine that's unadulterated. In other words, wine that has nothing in it but grapes and it's fermented. There's no ingredients other than pure wine. They have to have that unadulterated wine. And the other thing is, too, even when it comes to making, they make their own bread, because they cannot have anything in that bread. There can't be any leaven. There can't be any other ingredients but flour and water. And it's going to be made in such a way that it stays flat. They really go to the nth degree. I don't know why, but they really make a big deal out of the wine and the bread. Now what they're going to do is if you were sitting in that hall right now, there would be a man giving a talk on the stage, and then there would be a table, and there would be the bread and the wine on the table. And then they would have the brothers, as they would call them, they go down the aisle and passing you the bread and the wine. And the first thing you would pass is the bread. But the scripture, they use a couple of scriptures, but the one I think they're using here tonight is 1 Corinthians 11, 23 through 26. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to partake. So get your wine, get your bread ready. Verse 23 of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 11. For I received from the Lord what I also passed on to you. The Lord Jesus, on the night he was betrayed, he took bread, and when he gave thanks, he broke it and said, "This is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Well, that's why they're here tonight. Supposedly they're in there tonight, and they're passing the bread and the wine around in remembrance of Jesus. But the only thing is, the real disciples of Jesus in that upper room 2,000 years ago, they drank it and they ate it. Nobody does it in there. There's only a select small amount of witnesses that do it. And I don't believe anybody in that hall tonight's doing it. So anyways, he said, "Do this in remembrance of me." And the same after supper, he took the cup saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this whenever you drink it, remember it's in remembrance of me. For wherever you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes." It's a simple scripture. It's a very simple passage. So what we're going to do here tonight is we're going to do that. I'm going to say a prayer. We're gonna pass the bread first, but I'm just going to let me say a prayer here, okay? So get your bread and wine ready and say a prayer with me.
Do you want me to break this into pieces?
Our Father, who is in the highest heavens, we thank you very much for the opportunity of coming to know you. You have helped us so much in coming to grips with the real truth of the Bible. You have helped us to understand the meaning of life. And it can be very difficult at times for so many people. But your son came here to earth. He gave his life up for us. And he gave us instructions on what we should do to be brought into his new covenant. That is an arrangement, a covenant, a condition where we can draw closer to Jesus. And that's an amazing thing. So we want to do this tonight in remembrance of your son. And we appreciate everything that he did for us. We ask this, and we'll pass the bread in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, we're going to pass the bread. Did you want to pass that around? All right, you can pass it around. All righty. We're just passing around here among our people that are here with us. Here we go. All righty, and I got it over here. So here it is. This is the flat bread I was telling you about. Very, very flat, as you can see. And it's real flat bread. So that's what they do. But the sad part is, not everybody in there is doing it. They should be. If they really were real Christians, they would be partaking as we're doing it out here tonight. So then, after the bread was passed, and then they were going to pass the wine. Did you want to say a prayer, Miguel, for the wine? Why don't you come over here and say a prayer for the wine? Here, you say a prayer. We're going to have Miguel here. He came up from New Jersey, and you can say a prayer for the wine.
Dear Father in the heavens, thank you so much for tonight, and thank you for the ministry of Brother Rick Ferron. Everybody in the world listens to him, and he's been so helpful. So just praise and thanks for this man. Thank you so much for his work. Even though he doesn't know it, he's helping so many people. Now he's being provided this wine and bread to be I pray, Lord, this is an opportunity for all of us to remember you, really remember you, what you have said. You are my friends if you do what I command you. So let's be friends of Jesus, Lord. May we all of us remember that to win this fight, we really need to be obedient and keep us as much as possible away from sin. So help us, Lord, to fulfill your will. And thank you for this wine. Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. Absolutely. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you very much. So let's pass some wine here. You pass that around, Luke. There you go. Of course, this is just grape juice here. It's not wine because we're out here on the road, so we didn't bring the wine along with us. Well, that's it. That's basically why they're here. They give a little talk, and that's what they do. That's the passing of the bread and the wine. So I think it's fascinating that nobody takes it. Now we out here, we take it. We understand that that's being brought into the new covenant. And you say, well, what happens when I'm brought into the new covenant? Those people inside, then they're not in the new covenant. If you're not drinking of the bread, of eating of the bread and drinking of the wine, you're not in the new covenant. You're not in any covenant at all. Do you understand what a covenant is? How many people out there are married? Well, when you get married, that's a covenant. That's a covenant, you could say, that you enter into. You make a pact with the person that you're going to marry. It's very much like what Jesus is doing with us. He's making a pact. We are now being married to Christ, so to speak. And that's what the true meaning of this is all about. And it's sad. They got, what was it, 19.7 million people last year that came to the hall, and just only 20,000 actually partook. You know, those numbers are going up. And let me share something with you. In 2005, I came to this very hall, and I partook. And it was my former wife and I were the only ones in the whole Kingdom Hall that did. And you want to talk about, you want to talk about pressure. Everyone's watching you. Especially little kids, and they couldn't understand that because they never seen this done before. So all of a sudden, someone in the Kingdom Hall drinks the blood, the wine, and someone eats the bread. It's like, whoa, what happened here? This is unusual. And all the kids would stand up on their chairs and they'd be all looking around and pointing fingers. Well, of course they would, but they make a mockery out of it. Everyone in there, if they're real Christians, they should be drinking this. You cannot get into the kingdom of God unless you do partake. Yes, that's a known fact. And sad to say, they missed that. They missed that altogether. And the thing that I think is of interest to people is they somehow think they're the only true Christians on the earth. They think they're the only ones. Everybody else is a phony. Christendom is all a bunch of baloney to them. And that is so sad, but they are the one that's pulling the wool over the witnesses' eyes themselves. They just don't see it. So here we are. It's starting to get dark. Julie, how's that light? Was it showing up pretty good there on YouTube? I really can't see it. I can't see a thing that's going on. You think we need light or what?
You're showing up good.
Yeah, we got the lights up there, which is pretty good. Those spotlights are working out really good. Yeah. So that's kind of good. I'm sure the electronic sign is showing up good too.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I'll tell you, I wish you guys were all here with us. The witnesses should be coming out pretty soon. But what we'll do is I'm going to go over and we're going to talk to Miguel. He came all the way up from New Jersey, which I think really was something else to be able to do that. And I was really surprised. In fact, Miguel, why don't we just talk here for a couple of seconds?
Sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, are you comfortable? I wish I had a seat here for you, done it. But anyways, Miguel. So give us a story again for people who missed it. You were a Jehovah's Witness?
Well, I was never actually baptized, but I was a real believer on all of the theology. Even though I wasn't baptized, my grandmother will take me to the meetings, and I will believe all of it.
Yeah.
I believe everything, every single bit. Even when I was not going to the Kingdom Hall, I will defend the Watchtower. And I believe that everybody is going to the paradise earth when they die.
Yeah.
That made me fearless.
Yeah.
I didn't fear death. It was really bad.
No,
But
now you have a family? You're married?
no, I have no. I'm not married, but my parents thankfully, none of my family is a Jehovah's Witness that I know of. Um, I moved to Australia. I lived in Australia for 10 years. I was going to the Kingdom Hall, both in Adelaide and in Perth. And then I moved to Calgary back in 2014. And that's when I wanted to be the best Jehovah's Witness I could ever be. And so what I did is I studied a book, Rick.
Yeah.
I studied what does the Bible really teach.
Yeah.
But very well, like every chapter, well read. All the answers to the questions, every single one in a book. I wrote it. Every scripture. I will not just read the scripture, I will read the chapter. That woke me up.
Oh, there you go. Well, I couldn't. In fact, I'll tell you what. When you were walking down the street tonight, I was told earlier, and
Yeah.
some of the crowd, if you're coming in late, you might have heard it. But in view of the way the world is today, the Tewksbury Police Department, that's the town that, I'm sorry, the Wilmington Police Department, that's the town that we're in right here, right now, Wilmington, Massachusetts. And they called me today because they knew I was going to be down here protesting in front of the Kingdom Hall. And they said that they were going to send an undercover detective down. And so he's here, and I miss somewhere. He said, Rick, I'll be there with you, so don't you worry. I don't know if he's in the woods hiding out or where he is. But I thought it was Miguel. And Miguel was, I thought it was Miguel. But he doesn't look like he's armed. I don't think you're armed, right? But the detective was going to be armed. And I'll tell you what, see, what they probably did is they heard about that hamburger. Don't see, this is news. You know, police, they have like a ticket tape type thing that comes through UPI, like a news release that comes through their office of all the crime going on around the world. So they know the Jehovah's Witnesses had problems at the Kingdom Hall in Hamburg, Germany a month ago. So, you know, they've been on alert. So when they heard that we were going to be down here protesting, they just figured, geez, we better get down there and check things out. But never in the 15 years that I've been here in front of this Kingdom Hall has there been anybody that ever watched over us like that. Now the cops have come down. You've seen the cruiser come down a little earlier. He said that somebody called the police on us, the neighbors or the witnesses themselves, and said that we were, you know, kind of on somebody's land. But I assured the officer we weren't. See what you have. I'm going to tell you what you have, friends. And you gotta be happy that you're living in America. And let's hope that, you know, the administration today, they're doing a lot of strange things. We know what even happened today to Donald Trump. I'm not going to get political on you here tonight, but we know what even happened to him. And, you know, sometimes it's like a political witch hunt going on. But the way this whole world is going, it's turning upside down. But the point I wanted to make about that is protesting is sometimes you can get people agitated, and that's probably what the police were thinking. So they've been checking on us and sent an undercover detective down here as well tonight. So yeah, so I'm glad that you know, there's no incidents. I knew there's gonna. I didn't think anybody was going to be showing up with an Uzi, but you know, some people were saying on the radio broadcast last week, "Oh, Rick, you got to be careful down there." But
People mentioned
but you
it
just don't
here
know.
too.
Well, what's that?
People
Julie?
have mentioned it in the comments.
Yeah, yeah. So anything we should let the people be aware of in there? Anyone saying anything that?
That Jehovah would kill people for partaking that weren't well
right.
anointed.
Okay, no, I'm glad they brought that up. That's another thing. You know, in there, in fact, the brother that gives the talk, and as they're going to pass the wine and bread, as we just did, they're going to tell you, now, you make sure you're worthy of this. Don't you ever take this if you're not worthy. Friends, I'm going to tell you, you show me the first human being that's worthy. You show me the first human being that's worthy. We all commit sins. We've all had major difficulties, minor difficulties in our life. Nobody's perfect, but they want to make you seem like you're perfect to drink the wine and eat the bread. You don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is want to be brought into the fold of Jesus. All you want to have to do is be brought into his covenant. That's all it is. But they want to make it seem like, and I'm going to tell you something. It really used to tick me off. When I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and back in 2005, of course, Satan kicked me out of his organization, as I always say. But when I was in that Kingdom Hall partaking, and what used to really, really get me mad is the week before the memorial. they would always have a Watchtower article on reasons why you should not be partaking. And boy, did that really tick me off, because what they would do is they would say, well, sometimes people are unstable, so they don't really like the earth. They'd rather live in heaven, so they start partaking because they want a heavenly life. That's a bunch of baloney. And then another time they said it could be because people are on medicine. They're on medicine and they're not thinking straight. I counted 15 reasons in one Watchtower article before the memorial on why you shouldn't partake. But you know something? In a Christian church, in a real Christian church, they're not going to sit there and tell you the reasons why not to. They're going to tell you the reasons why you should and why you want to be brought into the new covenant. That's the difference, friends. That's the difference right there. And, I know this organization inside out and backwards. And most of the people listening in here tonight, you apostates, if you want to be called that, I don't mind being an apostate. I know what the definition of apostate is. Apostasy is standing away from one's teachings or the teachings of an organization, standing away from their ideology, standing away from it. That's what we're doing as apostates. But let me tell you, you can be an apostate of anything. You can be an apostate of Walmart. I don't want to shop in Walmart anymore. I can't stand it. I can't. That's being an apostate. That's being an apostate. You're staying away from Walmart. So that's exactly how I feel here with the Jehovah's Witness. I don't mind being called an apostate at all. Yeah. So anyways, what really got me thinking, and I've been watching the news, and of course I do JW World News every Saturday night. And what really got me thinking as I review the news and the Jehovah's Witness religion, lately, it's just unbelievable what's going on in that organization. And we talked about this man. He was out in service in Illinois, Rockford, Illinois. And that was just a month ago. And he was out in service as a Jehovah's Witness, and his family was out going door to door. And then his family was coming back, and a young man came up and shot him and killed the man in the car, the Jehovah's Witness in the car. Whatever happened there, we still don't know. And then also we had two pioneer sisters. I believe they were pioneers in Argentina. They were out in service, and they got stabbed. Both of them got stabbed. And then we had another just a couple of weeks ago in the parking lot of a Kingdom Hall. We had two brothers fighting over a business dealing, and one of them got shot. So, we're hearing stories like this a lot. Lots of incidents happening at the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall. And the reason for that, you say, well, Ricky, what would be the reason for this? Well, the reason would be there's a lot of agitated people right now in the Jehovah's Witness religion. And there's a lot of what they call PMOs. You guys, I'm preaching to the choir here, I know, but a PMO, that's an acronym. A PMO is an acronym for Jehovah's Witness that goes to the meetings. He's physically in, but mentally out. In other words, he doesn't believe a word they're saying. He's just going to the meetings because he knows darn well if he doesn't, he could get shunned and his whole family is going to displace him. So there's many PMOs, and what's happening is that the rest of the congregation is starting to pick up on this. Even some Watchtower articles have been written about this, to not, really be so close to people that are doubting or at least having questions about the Watchtower. So the governing body, I'll tell you, they know there's PMOs, by the way. They're very aware of them. Now, they don't call them PMOs, but they call them weak, right? That's, or marked even. They got certain people marked. So that's what they do. And consequently, what happens with the organization right now is there's a lot of people going into the Kingdom Hall that's suspicious of each other. A lot of turmoil. And then let's take a look at even going all the way up to the top to the governing body. Let's take a look at Tony Morris. We have a sign out here. You saw it earlier. Where's Tony, right? And you say, well, where's Tony? In fact, you want to show them that sign? There you go. Look at that sign. That one might not do it. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to switch that over, and you can go to the other camera. I want the people to see the signs, those people just coming in. So let me just switch the camera. I got to get over to my other. Whoops, this seat is just about had it. It's okay. At least I had something to sit on. Right?
directed to get you a chair.
Oh, that's good enough. There's no chairs. Oh, you do have one?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Oh, don't. No, that's fine. Well, we're almost done anyways. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Miguel. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, let me change. You guys are still with me, I think. Let me get my microphone. I think the microphone fell here. Where is it? Just trying to find the microphone, friends. Oh, here it is, yeah. All right. So here it is. We got the mic back. When you're doing these remote broadcasts, they don't go off as perfectly as you like. It's a lot easier doing stuff in the studio. I'm just going to change. I'm going to change a camera right now because I want. That one? No, it's not that one. We're changing, trying to get the different cameras on here. Is it that one? No, maybe not. Give me another second here. We got a few cameras we're trying to. All right, there it is. So look at those signs out there. Look at that. Look at that one up the top. Australia Royal Commission, Search Jehovah's Witnesses. There's a picture of Jeffrey Jackson. Then we got, where's Tony? Well, there's a picture of Tony Morris, the infamous Watchtower governing body member. In the last month, we hear that Tony is no longer a governing body member. There he is with a picture of a match, and that center picture. And the wind's starting to come up here tonight, so we see some things blowing around. But there he is right there. There's Tony. Yep, you can see him right there. These are good signs. These signs, people can see them, they can read them. And the Watchtower organization breaks up families. Can you switch over to the other one there too, Julie? You got enough cord there? I think that's about as far as you can go, maybe. Yeah. Okay. And there you go. There's
thank you.
over there. In fact, show that one on the top if you can. Yeah, that one right there. Look at that. There's a picture of Jehovah's Witnesses cover up child sex abusers. There's a picture of all the abusers. Some of the current ones too that we got from Pennsylvania, and we have from Illinois. And Jehovah's Witnesses cover up child. I mean, you got to get signs like that. They're like billboards coming down the street. So, all right. So here you have it. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, it's amazing to me. It's just amazing that. And we got an electronic sign as well. We have a portable generator that's actually giving us the juice here tonight. There's your electronic sign. It's a wonderful thing to be out here. I'll tell you, you feel so good. It's getting nice and cool out here now, but you feel so good just standing out in front of a Kingdom Hall. It's amazing that we've been doing it for so many years, and I know it makes a difference. It really, really does make a difference. There's no question about it. All right. There you are. There's the Kingdom Hall. As you can see, it's getting dark. You'll be coming out here very, very shortly, so we're going to be, filming the witnesses as they come out, and then we'll be ending our stream here probably about a half hour or so. But boy, we're so glad all you guys are coming in and being with us. Yes, it's good to have you with us tonight. Of course, we'll be back on Saturday night. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll be back on JW World News, and we got some really good programming coming up. We had Larry John Wayne. He's coming in from Los Angeles area, and he was going to do a program coming up this Saturday, but he kind of bowed out. But we got a special one coming on how you can be a superhuman being. You want to come in Saturday night at 11 o'clock this Saturday. It's going to be a great program. Larry John Wayne out of California. And then the other program we got Fritz Springmeier coming back, the author of many, many books, but he wrote the book, The 13 Bloodlines of the Illuminati. And of course, Charles Taze Russell, the very founder of the Russellites and the Watchtower, he was in the bloodlines of the Illuminati. And, a lot of people say, there's no such thing. Well, listen to Fritz. He's coming in Saturday night. He's got a program Saturday night. He'll be coming on at 9:30. So I just wanted to mention that so you guys can be aware of it. Well, they should be coming out here very, very shortly. And I think I can start to hear some activity now. Why don't you check what time is it, Miguel?
7:55.
7:55. Yeah, I think they'll be coming out here very, very shortly, and then that'll be it. Then.
There's like no cars this year.
Yeah, no. In fact, that's what I want to say too. Boy, there's not that many cars here tonight. I have to tell you, this is about the lowest turnout that I have seen in my many years of coming here, there's very, very few cars out here tonight. And I want you guys all understand too that it's very, very difficult taking your show on the road. Very hard with the camera. I want to tell you folks, I appreciate the people we have here running the cameras. It's very hard because they're webcams, and you have to be attached to a computer in order to see what's really happening. So that's why, you know, it might not be the best video in the world, but at least you can be out here with us, kind of like a virtual protest. And we did have a sign, but we had some issues getting that sign working here tonight. And we were going to let you put something on the sign that you thought would be appropriate. We have an electronic sign. We have two of them. I mean, this one does work, but the other one we're having some issues with. But maybe next year we'll do it. But also this summer, if there is a convention in Lowell, Mass, I'm not sure, but if there is a convention in Lowell, Mass at the Sangha Center, we're going to be there as well with a protest for the district and a regional convention. So we're looking forward to that. Well, you're just hearing the police cars in the background. There's a bunch of police cruisers going down the street. Boy, actually 4 police cruisers running down the street right now. I'm glad they're not 5 cruisers, so I'm glad they're not coming here. 6. Boy, I'll tell you, something going on, huh? Unreal. All right, well, just keep hanging in here with us. We're glad you are. I just want to catch the witnesses coming out. I like to really see them hanging in and looking at the signs. It's very, very interesting to see them do that. And they slow down. People slow down. They want to, hey, look, I'm going to tell you what we're doing here, friends. Even if some of the witnesses are paying no attention to this. You know, we have people coming here, dropping their friends and relatives off to go to the meeting tonight, but they're looking at the signs. And don't think they're not going to be talking about this tonight. Don't think these witnesses aren't going to go home tonight and say, geez, you know, what were those apostates doing out there? Did you read those signs? So, and not only that, you watch some of these people. They know we do YouTube. They know we're on Facebook. We've actually had some of the witnesses come in and view it from this Kingdom Hall. So, you know, they might go home and check it out and get a little idea of what we're talking about. I hope they could really pay some attention tonight to some of the things we're talking about. The Watchtower actually, you know, causes people to snap at times and do silly things because of being shunned. That's a terrible thing. To have to be shunned by your family and people won't even talk to you that you loved and you knew. So we hope we can reach some people. That's our main thing. But I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed tonight. I have to tell you, I couldn't believe it with Miguel. I keep mentioning Miguel. I tell you what, I mean, coming all the way up from not Pennsylvania, but New Jersey.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Well,
I just had to come.
You had to come. I mean, that's amazing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Boy, I couldn't believe it. I can't even get people to come from the next town over. You drive all the way up from New Jersey. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I just wanted to reiterate, like, how important is your ministry.
Yeah.
You're helping so many people, right?
Well, thank you. I know. In fact, see, we got a car there. He's slowing down. He's reading the signs. He's actually reading the signs. He's wondering what the signs are all about. Yeah.
Good.
There's a woman. See that? Oh boy. See, no, they do. She's red. Yeah. So I don't know if these are neighbors or these are witnesses. Yeah. Well, maybe I can talk to her. Yeah, let me see if I can. Well, she don't. She slowed down. She read the sign. She doesn't want to talk. At least we tried, Miguel. Anyways, right? I want to try to maybe we can get some witnesses coming out here tonight. Maybe if they slow down enough and they got the windows open, maybe they'll talk to us. Maybe they'll talk to us. Yeah. So we have talked to some in the past. But very few. I mean, in the 15 years, we had a couple that did talk to us. But we actually had one woman, I'd say about 5 years ago, that she came down that street right here and she saw these signs. And the woman thought that we were welcoming her. She thought that we were Jehovah's Witnesses, and she thought we were just kind of welcoming, as the people were coming in. I says, oh no, we're not. We're anti-witness. We left the witnesses. And she says, yeah. She says, well, what's these signs all about? I says, well, read them. She says, they have child molesters in that organization. I said, well, that's the signs, and that's for sure. You could check it online. And she says, well, I'm just a Bible study, and they invited me to come here tonight. She says, but I didn't know they were doing this. She says, I'm going home. I'm not coming here. See?
Not many people know about the child molestation and the shining policy.
That's
They
right.
will never knock on your door and say, "Hey, join us," and we will shine you if you don't.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. Exactly right, Miguel. Yeah.
And I was talking to my auntie the other day, and she said, "Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah, they are just like any other religion, right?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, they shun people. If your family member leaves the religion, you will no longer be able to talk to them." I said, "Wow, they don't know, and this is so cruel."
It is.
And it's just comes from the devil. It's evil.
It is evil. It is
And
evil. And it's just so we're out here as a few people. It really amazes me that the world hasn't caught up on these guys. Some countries are. Some countries are now. This country still is letting them kind of do what they want, but they're starting to really be exposed. They're starting to be exposed. It's terrible. It's terrible. Look at all the lives that have shattered and been ruined. Even that woman. I get calls all the time. That woman call me and just tell me all these things. They call me up late at night. I can't believe the people I get calling me. It's crazy. And at first I didn't know if I even believed it all, but now I believe it. There's more people hurt than we think, Miguel. It's unreal. Well, you guys, you're still with us, anyways. You can see it's getting dark out here right now, but you can still read the signs. Uh, yeah. So I'm just thinking, well, Miguel, why don't you talk to the audience here? I'm going to bring a light out here. That's your little mic. You talk to the audience. Let them know what's going on. Yeah.
well, I'm not really a good talker, but I just wanted to say to everybody that if anybody is in Calgary and you're a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness and you want to leave this religion, come to Rocky Mountain Calvary Chapel. There is a ministry, Rocky Mountain Calvary Chapel, which will help you, and you will find friends, and you will learn the Bible. What does the Bible teach about Jesus? I came here to thank Brother Rick and to meet him, and it was an honor. And I'm just very impressed by this man has been doing this for so many years. And if anybody is a witness or is considering leaving the religion, you can be very devastated about your whole life being destroyed. But I just want to tell you that God is real and that God is not somebody on the sky just browsing Facebook or doing something like that. He is here on earth. Jesus is God. When I wonder if God was good, when I learned that Jesus was God, I recognized that He was good because He was fighting with us together to save us. Yes, I'm not really a great talker, but that's the message I want to give you. I want to give you that there is hope. And if this organization is just an illusion, Jesus is real. So don't be afraid to leave the organization because Jesus will welcome you. Wherever you are, Jesus will welcome you. It doesn't matter if you're a witness or not. You're not betraying God. You're actually doing what is right. You're actually doing what is right. And God will commend you. God will help you. And God will give you His Holy Spirit. With the Holy Spirit, you will become one with Him. And that's what it really means to be a Christian, to have the Holy Spirit. It has nothing to do with Bible studies or the Watchtower. Anyway, that's all I have, and I wish you're well. I'm sorry, I'm not really a great talker, but a great speaker, but that's all I have to say. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to be with Brother Rick. It's been an honor to meet him. Okay.
I'll be right with you. I'm just going to put these lights up, Miguel, so people can read these signs.
Yeah, it's so remarkable to see all the effort that Rick is doing. He set up a table, he set up the computers, the internet, the signs, and he does everything on his own pocket. So it's all very commendable as well. And here we are, and I'm pretty sure that Rick is doing a great ministry too. to everybody coming, this message has to be passed. This religion is just a religion, and it's in opposition of a real relationship with Jesus. So beware, be careful, and I pray that you learn Jesus, learn who He is. Pray for the Holy Spirit, pray for His forgiveness, and pray for His life, for the forgiveness of sins. We are all sinners. When I was going door to door, I was actually sinning. I was sinning because I was preaching a false gospel. I was, I thought that there was nothing I had to do. I will make it to the paradise anyway. Paradise anyway. Everybody was gonna make it to paradise anyway. If anybody's gonna make it to paradise anyway, why Jesus died? If anybody's going to the paradise anyway, why Jesus died? Jesus died so we can share it. We can share His life. Um, so I pray to anybody who's leaving the organization to consider this. We are not betraying God. We are doing the right thing.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Miguel. That's Miguel. He's out here with us. He drove all the way from New Jersey. So it's a good 4-hour drive. But he came up to be with us tonight. So this is really good. We got the lights on out here now. We got the signs all lit up. Can you span around and show those, Julie? And there you have it. Look at that. We got the lights on now. You can see the signs. So the witnesses coming out aren't going to miss them. I mean, that's for sure. There you have it. I know they can see them. I mean, they got to talk about this. So they're coming out now. Here we go. All right, Julie. Good. Well, they got to, this is really a unique hall because there's only one way in and one way out. And I'm going to see if we can't get a witness to maybe stop and talk to us. We'll see what happens. It would be good if it would. I don't know if we get another hall meeting or not. We're not going to stay around for the second meeting. If they're coming in now, they'll see the signs too. But they're leaving now, so we'll just keep the camera on them, people leaving the hall, and people be able to. I'll tell you, the power of a billboard, the power of a sign, a well-written sign is imagery. People think in pictures, people remember in pictures, people move to action in pictures. So there we go. They're all coming out of the parking lot now. That's good.
They're driving their fancy cars.
What's that?
They're all driving their fancy cars.
Yeah, they all got their fancy cars, and they're all pretending to be the only Christians on the planet. And this is their big night out, as it is. This is their big night out. And I just wish that, especially these young kids, it makes me so sick to see young kids coming out of the Kingdom Hall. It really, really does. So they're all leaving here now. And I think they at least know that we were present here tonight. There's no way they could miss us. We're present. They can see us. And I wish they could understand that there's child molesters. There's child molesters in their organization. They're covered up by the Watchtower. These people have no clue. Their children, they should be watching their children. Their children are subject to pedophilia. Thousands of pedophiles in the organization. These people have no clue. I see all the poor little kids coming out. They're all so much wrapped up in an organization that's doing zero for them. What does the Watchtower do for people? Geez, with the way life is today and the problems and troubles, people trying to make a living, and you got an organization that doesn't want you to be educated. They don't want you to get a career. They just want you to give them money. And what do you really get out of the Watchtower? False hope. How many years have they been predicting falsehood? How many years have they been predicting that Armageddon's coming? So many people have been misled, given up careers. A lot of poor people in the organization from adhering to the Watchtower teachings. It's just absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Well, you can see them all going out now. They're all going out of the. I'll see if we can't scan over. Yep. You can see them coming out of the Kingdom Hall now. There they are coming out the front door. So I don't know if there's another meeting here tonight or not, but it wasn't packed like I say. I've been doing this now numerous years, but it was not packed here tonight. Usually cars are parked all along here, but not tonight. They weren't. It was a bad turnout. I mean, I have to say that. When I used to come to the meetings here, there were more turnouts then. Now, this particular Kingdom Hall is kind of like they're using it as like a staging site. There's a Cambodian congregation that meets here. I guess Spanish as well and English. So they do have a number of congregations that meet here. Now, that wasn't the case when I was here. So what they did is they closed a lot of Kingdom Halls down around this area. And this one they kept open. But I know 4 or 5 in this, within a 10-mile radius of here, they closed down. So this is one of the only ones that they have to come to. So you have a bunch of congregations that have merged. And even merging is still not showing the numbers they should be showing. So that's the strangest thing of it all. And when it was just one congregation, that would be one thing. But by merging them all, and still not having a big turnout here tonight, I think the numbers are going to be really down this year. And they really had to get them up. They really had to get the numbers up, but I don't think the numbers are going to be up this year. But it just completely, it gives you a sick feeling to see people coming out of the Kingdom Hall and to see little kids and being indoctrinated into false religion. It's just absolutely unbelievable that this is all going on. But I'm sure that people now they're coming by too. They can read these signs. That's for sure. And they got a mouthful from us here tonight. I mean, we were not yelling and screaming at them, but they can't really just be oblivious to not seeing these signs. Wouldn't you be if you were still a Jehovah's Witness? Wouldn't you want to be looking at the signs that these apostates say, what are those signs saying? What is it all about? Wouldn't you want to be doing that? I would if I was a witness coming out of the Kingdom Hall. That's the first thing I'd be doing. I want to say, what are these apostates? What are these signs? Lord. So, so the neatest thing is, too, they have to slow down. They have to slow down, and they have to at least acknowledge that we're here. So some of them are. But the one thing I have noticed here tonight is there's not a lot of teenage kids. I see little kids, 5, 6, 7 years old, but there's not a lot of teenage kids. The teenage kids have got up and left. The teenage kids have got up and left. They don't want to be part of Jehovah's Witnesses. In fact, that's the biggest problem right now. All the youth is going. I'm looking at a lot of older people that are coming out of the hall. Some of the people, I can still remember some of the people that I remember when I used to come to this Kingdom Hall coming out. Of course, they're all getting older now. This is getting to be an older crowd, so to speak. The Watchtower's got to get new people to keep coming into the Kingdom Hall. So more and more people are leaving. There's more people going out the back door than coming in the front. And why wouldn't there be? Well, what really, as I just said a little earlier ago, what benefits do you get by being one of Jehovah's Witnesses? Really, you guys are sitting home tonight watching this, and maybe it's kind of turning your stomach too, but it really is. It's turning my stomach to see an organization that portrays themselves as the only true Christians on the planet, and yet they're all being put to sleep. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. Oh my goodness! But I tell you what, it's getting a little cool out here now. It's probably getting down into the 40s, and I'm glad we were able to mention some of the people that have really died due to Watchtower policies. We had a little memorial on the memorial tonight for people that have died and acknowledged that. And it's sad, but thousands of people have died adhering to the policies of the Watchtower. And whether through suicide or dying from refusing blood transfusion or whatever it would be. So it's, I tell you what, it's so interesting. I wish you guys, I wish we could get a camera right up front and close with the people when they're going by in the cars. They're looking, and they have such an odd look on their face. And it's. I'm just wondering, how would I react? How would you react? How would you react to some apostates standing out in front of your Kingdom Hall, like with these signs? And we got the lights out here. I got a portable generator. It's not gas, it's electric. It's actually solar powered. But we've had that out here today, and boy, it's running all these lights. It's running electronic signs. It's unbelievable. Now we got people. We got another hall of effect coming in. So at the same time, the other ones are leaving. So boy, we're getting a bunch to really see exactly what's going on here tonight. Yeah. So that's good. Excellent. Yeah, we gotta slow down. We gotta see what's happening. Yeah. What do you think of those signs? Yeah, there's a witnesses now. Roll the window down and looking at the signs. I like that. Oh boy, that. I'll tell you what. Did you want to get an adrenaline rush? I'd rather be here than the Super Bowl. I'm seeing people just driving by and just they're not oblivious to this. They're really not. This is problemsome. This is not good. I wouldn't want to be the Kobe at this Kingdom Hall and having a display like this is probably the biggest display of banners and signs in the world tonight at the memorial service. I just wish we'd have more people come out and be with us. That's all I would wish, but that's okay. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But boy, if we could just if we could ever get 100 people out here, that would be wonderful. But I think that in the future there'll be more and more protests. I really do. And I know this. If you could ever get 1,000 people to go protest at a regional convention or even go broadcast and protest up in front of, say, the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses up in Yahweh, it would make a difference. I know it would. Look at the press coverage you get. Look at what people would do. I mean, everyone would be aware of what the Jehovah's Witnesses are up to. So it does look like they do have 2 meetings here tonight. I was unaware of that. We won't be staying for the second, but the second group is coming in now. So it's just amazing to me that these people they're coming down the street. It looks like there's quite a few coming in for the second meeting here tonight. But the first ones are leaving now. So they're all getting in the cars. Boy, I can't believe all the nice shiny new cars. I don't know what's going on with the witness world. I know the Watchtower is not giving me money, so I'm really wondering what's going on here. Everyone seems to have new SUVs. I haven't seen a Bentley here tonight. A new Bentley. That's a $200,000 car. I couldn't believe it when the witnesses came in. I mean, isn't that really a flashy display? I would think it was. Yeah. So, anyways, my name is Rick Farron. We're here out in front of the Wilmington Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses in Wilmington, Massachusetts. And Memorial Night, of course, the big night of the year for the witnesses. We'll be wrapping up here shortly. But the people now are leaving. And yeah, so it does look like they have a second group coming in tonight. Boy, I'll tell you, it's so funny. Like I say, I'm really being amused just watching the cars go by. And, some of them are looking, some of them don't dare look. We are agents of Satan, the devil. Man, I'll tell you, we are the worst of the worst, the evil slave as it is. But it's fascinating. It's very, very fascinating. Some will look, some will not even as dare look over here. Yeah. Well, they're being instructed all the time. They go to train in the back behind. They're being instructed all the time not to deal with apostates. Don't take any of their literature. Don't look at the apostates. Don't look at the signs. Make sure they're being told that. Well, there we go. Look at that. Well, I'll tell you what. There was a young girl. I tell you, she was funny. How old was she, Julie? Did you see her?
Yeah, probably like late 20s.
Well, she looked young. She looked like she was probably like a late teenager girl. And in fact, in the car, and she's shaking her head, yes, 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 as she was going by. See, now that made my night. 2 things made my night tonight. Miguel coming up from New Jersey, and that 20-year-old girl that was just giving us basically the thumbs up, and she was saying yes. Did you see her, Miguel?
Good job.
Oh yeah, see that? So they're out there. Those are the PMOs. Those are the PMOs. Those are the ones that are, they're physically in, but mentally out. They don't believe this, and she's going by, and oh, I'll tell you, that was wonderful to see that. That was like watching a football game and someone got a touchdown. That was it. That was
Mhm.
that was good. See that? So we know there's some people out there that at least have a little heads up. Yeah. So they're wondering what we're doing out here, and if they would just roll the windows down, I wish it was a little warmer because I could kind of talk to them if they're going by. They'd like to stop and talk. But they're so afraid other witnesses would tell them not to. Yeah. Yeah, they're doing everything they can. I'll tell you, it is amusing to me to watch these people in the cars driving by. You can't see it on film here, I mean on the
All the
video.
little kids, it's sad.
I'm sorry, good, Julie.
It's sad to see all the little
Oh, it's
children
very
that are
sad.
being
No.
brainwashed.
Oh, you better believe it. They are being brainwashed. Yes, they are being
They
brainwashed.
can't even
Yeah.
have a real childhood.
No, no. Well, you probably didn't get a chance to see our camera woman here tonight, but that's her right there. There she is. She's
Hey,
been doing
everyone.
she's been doing all the camera work here for us. She of course has the anonymous mask on, but she's been doing our work tonight. We really appreciate her efforts, and it looks like we're going to be wrapping up here very, very shortly. But we want to thank all of you folks for coming in here tonight. And boy, we're looking at the older ones. Boy, I'll tell you, that young girl that went by, she was, like I say, probably about 20. She's the younger generation's getting it. The older generation, no, they're not understanding it. But yeah, so this second group coming in, it's very low attendance too. It looks like there's not many cars for that one either. With both of them coming and going, it seemed like a lot going on, but it really, really wasn't. So, there you go. There's another young girl. She's kind of looking at us too. I tell you what, that's a
Turning heads.
yeah, yeah. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Well, we'll be wrapping up here. Just, I mean, there's some activity still going on, so we're just going to hang in here for a while. Yeah, this is 6 Greens Telenetwork that you're on, and we do special events like this from time to time, protesting, and we'll be having our regular program this Saturday night on the 6 Greens Telenetwork. You want to make sure you come in. We got a really big program lined up. We got Fritz Springmeier. He's coming back with us. He wrote the book, The Bloodlines of the Illuminati, as well as a number of other books, and he'll be coming in Saturday night at 9:30. So you want to make sure you listen to Fritz. I was on the phone with him this week. He wants to tell us all about Russell and how wealthy Russell was. Of course, the Proclaimers book makes Russell seem like, he was have money, but not the type that he claims he's very, very wealthy. So he's going to come in and talk about that on Saturday night. Plus, he's going to talk about trauma-based mind control. Yeah, that's exactly what some of these witnesses are experiencing here tonight. It's trauma-based mind control. And Fritz is going to be talking all about that coming this Saturday night, so you want to make sure. And then at 11 o'clock Saturday night, we got a new program. Larry John Wayne kind of bowed out on us, but we have a program, kind of a mystery guy. He's going to be coming in doing a program on Saturday night at 11 o'clock. In the program, he's going to be, it's how to be a superhuman being. That's going to be the theme of his program for Saturday night at 11 o'clock, right here on the 6 Greens Telenetwork. Well, that's just about going to be it, I think. I think in a minute or two, we can kind of wrap it up here. And we'll be able to leave the Wilmington Kingdom Hall. Kind of sad leaving. I like being here, but we'll be back again here next year, all goes well. And hopefully we'll be at the regional convention in Lowell, Massachusetts, coming up in probably in July. So we'll have some special events all summer long. I'm going to try to get to as many conventions as I can and do this. And I hope that some of you folks that are listening in tonight, maybe you could be part of it. Maybe you could come up and be with us and do a protest and put your boots on the ground, as they say. I think you'd really find it exhilarating. You're going to feel good doing it. And we'd love to have you come join us. And like I say, we had, I kept telling you all night, but I'll tell you again for those just coming in. We had a man drive 4 hours to come here tonight. 4 hours to be with us. I have a hard time getting people just coming locally. I have a hard time getting the people coming. And it's not, protesting isn't for everybody. Everybody does their own way of doing business. But we had a good night, I have to tell you. I didn't get a chance to talk to any witnesses. We had 4 people show up for our little protest. It wasn't anything big. The only thing I can say was of interest that really got my attention was I got a call from the Wilmington Police Department today, as I've been telling you right along, and they sent an undercover armed policeman up here. He wasn't wearing a uniform, but he was watching over us. And I don't know if that was in view of what went on in Germany in the last month, or whether he got tipped off that someone might try to do something here tonight. I don't know. But we were being looked over by a, from what I understand, armed. He called me and told me he'd be here and he'd be hiding out, but he'd be here watching over us. But there was no incidents. There wasn't anything at all here tonight that would raise any red flags. But we want to appreciate and thank the Wilmington Police Department for watching out for us and letting us be safe here. And I thank the protesters that are here with me as well for coming up tonight and being with me as well. And I hope you guys all enjoy the day, what's left to it. Some people are still in daytime. We're in nighttime out here. There you go. More people reading the signs. I tell you, this is just amazing. And not only that, it's people that aren't even coming to the Kingdom Hall that are driving by. Boy, they're getting a real bird's eye view of what the witnesses are all about, I'll tell you. Geez, I don't know how I would handle it if I was the Kobe here. I don't know how I would handle this. It would really be, whoa. Well, I think that's just about going to be it for us. So thank you. Thank you for coming in and being with us tonight right here on the 6 screens. And we'll be back live again Saturday night. But spread the word. And if you like what we do here, why don't you like the channel? Subscribe to the channel. And let your friends know that we do things like this. And we have live programs where we didn't have the telephone lines. There we go. How we doing? There you go. My goodness, there's some people leaving and they're waving to us. I couldn't believe it, beeping the horn at us. Can you believe that? So I'll tell you, it's like a new organization here. I've never seen that before. We just pulled out of the Kingdom Hall lot. There's a few people in the car and they're beeping the horn and waving at us on the way by. First time anyone ever beeped and waved at us. That was really unique. Well, anyways, like and subscribe to the channel, share it on Facebook, spread the word, and let the world know that the Jehovah's Witnesses are a very dangerous cult. Well, you guys keep waving your flag of victory, keep standing tall, don't you ever give in, up, or out. And the last one, leaving the Watchtower, please turn off the new light. We'll see you Saturday night. Thank you for coming in with us.